Hello guys, we're back to the world of Asia, Rose instead of Europe. We have never really touched this series too much here, but we have the newest part to the series. So last time, I actually don't remember what happened last time, but it was so long I made it. So yeah, last time we saw some countries collapse as well here, and we saw the Chinese here. We have the Chinese nations here. We have these African countries here. We have the Americas here. Here we have and then we have the new alliance that was formed between Brakia and Nova and a few other nations. I think the X alliance has been created as well here. You know, Now we're going to talk about the next war. Osai plans to invade Gantana because they want to basically become like Russia. Gantana is one of the world's oldest countries in the world as well. The thing is, for most of the history, Osai and Gantana have had positive relations. Until very recently, Gantana and Osai have had very negative relations. Osai starts to invade Gantana as well here, and they start to invade Gantana, and Gantana's military is not very strong. They are one of the weaker countries. Pentanovan also wants parts of Gantana as well, and they start to invade Gantana as well. So one of the world's oldest countries is now being defeated as well here. My biggest problem with this series is I got too attached to some of the countries I created, and I basically never wanted to get them conquered as well. However, we have changed our mind and tune about that as well here. And Gantana has been basically restricted to over here. But Gantana will still exist as well. The capital city will be right here because it's the only real major city right there as well here. The W Alliance dissolves. Yep. This alliance that used to exist dissolves as well as Niasti and Fusaka go against their differences and go about their own ways of doing it. The only other country in the W Alliance that still exists is Norta, and they also leave as well. They have Asgarcia, this massive country right here. They will continue the conquest spree as well, trying to become the biggest empire in Europe. Guardia, another very old country, is invaded as well, and they invade Guardia very quickly as well. Guardia is defeated, and Asgarcia basically takes them over, and they are now a part of Asgarcia. So Guardia no longer exists as well here. And Asgarcia is going down a authoritarian path as well. And also the culture of Guardia is now being basically culturally erased, kind of like the Spanish cultures are being erased and being assimilated as well. Then we have the Indian War. This is going to be one of the big wars of the series. The war to unite India. So India, or it used to be called Continental, used to be one of the biggest countries in the world as well, and one of the most dominant countries. However, the Continental military wants to retake India's glory as well. The first country they invade is Attack, which has always kind of existed, but they recently regained their independence. The Continental military insurges into Attack very, very, very quickly, cutting off the northern part of Attack and basically destroying their economy, and the country is basically surrenders over. So basically, the ending of this incursion ends with Attack being controlled by the Continental military as well. And Attack will relinquish all sovereign claims as well here. Right now, the internet is available so everybody knows what's going on, and a lot of people are paranoid that the world is going into chaos. The world is going into disorder as well. As the Continental military, continues to expand, as well. The Taoists create a new alliance, which is the want to join the Circle. The Circle Alliance still exists, but there's only 2 countries a part of the Circle Alliance: Osai, Fanai, and for some reason North Pizza is a part of the Circle Alliance. But North Pizza is not part of the Circle Alliance as well here. Fanai also abandons says they want to invite more members to the Circle Alliance. Osai agrees, and the Triangle Alliance and the Circle Alliance make a new agreement as well. They will be now forming one whole alliance as well here. These countries used to be enemies of but Colonia, Kimodor, and Pentanovan all agreed to join the Circle Alliance as well. As the Circle Alliance is mostly just Fanai and Osai at this point, which is not really the most powerful alliance, but however they get Pentanovan, Colonia, Kimodor, Nor, and however Renin does not join the alliance as well. This causes Pentanovan and Osai to basically invade Renin as well here. This is another one of the oldest countries in the world as well, and this country is also one of the weakest countries in the world. Osai will also send troops to invade Renin as well here, and this country is basically 100% destroyed as well here, and they refuse because they refuse to join the alliance as well. Osai will be creating a northern puppet state right here, and that country will join the alliance here. And the southern ports of the country will go to Pentanovan as well. A lot of people are concerned about the rise of the Osai alliance as well here, because they basically destroyed an entire country because they didn't want to join this alliance right here. But Pentanovan now controls northern Iran as well, and there is a new country now that is created. CCO is created as a new country. Their capital will be right here. And of course, they are joining the Circle Alliance as well. They are joining the Circle team, and as well. However, another country wants to join the Circle team, and that is Moravia. And of course, they are accepted into the Circle team as well. Nova is kind of concerned about the rise of the Circle team and invites Skantana and Dante to the Circle, into the X Alliance, to kind of counteract this huge alliance that is being created as well. Meanwhile, Nilda, with this country right here, they want to continue to expand into Africa. However, Yami is the only country they can realistically invade besides Popi, because they can't invade Nova because they'll get Kasai to join, and they can't really invade Yami as Yami is actually more powerful than it. However, and they can't invade this alliance because this alliance is very large as well, and it's basically to stop invaders from invading Africa as well. So Nilda invades the next country here. I was having Nilda and Popi are the same color. Okay, actually we won't do that because we don't want 2 countries with the same color border. Actually, gonna just make a black line between them. So this country will invade Popi as well here. So Nilda will start to invade Popi, and Popi is defeated relatively quickly as well here. Popi's entire country is being destroyed right here, and they are basically being eliminated as well. Popi is of course much more weaker, and is basically kind of like a very weak country as well here, but they are defeated as well here. And we're gonna make a small real black border here to differentiate the 2 countries of Popi and Pentanovan as well here. So you guys can tell on the map that these are two separate countries. So Nilda is now one of the most powerful countries in the Middle East as well. And a lot of countries are afraid of Nilda's expansion. They can't really expand any further, but they can't really expand any further. They are still very powerful as well. However, Monama asks both Yami and Nova to give up their African land or else. Okay, they have to give up this land or else. Nova, this land is kind of connected to them, so that both country Yami refuses as well. Well, basically tons and tons of units now invade Yami land as well, and basically they demand Nova to do the same, or else they will be invaded as well. They don't plan to actually defeat Yami as a country, but they do plan to actually take back Africa for good. Okay, to expel the invading countries. Okay, this has been under control of Yami's land. Somalia has been controlled under the control of Nova and Yami's land. However, both countries refuse to give up their historic lands, and they are basically being kicked out of Africa as well. The peace treaty has been done. Both countries agreed to decolonize Africa here. So this is kind of the new borders here. Four more countries will be created out of Yami, and Nova will give birth to two countries right here. So first is this orange country right here, Ethiopia, which is basically Eritrea, but I just spelled it differently. So we have KCI, which is this large country right here. And then of course we have this dark brown country right here. We have DI. This is actually one of the most economically powerful countries. And of course we have the very light blue country. This country is kind of insignificant. Pontia as well here. Then we have Kira. And of course we have the last country, which will be a greenish color. And we have Felicia. All of these countries will also join this African alliance to secure their freedom and independence as well here. They are not very strong countries, so all of them will be joining this African Defense League as well here. Now it's time for Nilda to give up Egypt and this area right here. Nilda, of course, refuses to, and Monama threatens the country of Nilda to get out of Africa right now. They invade Nilda's army. However, Nilda is not a weak country. However, they realize they are not going to be able to defeat, the combined armies of all these African countries, because Monama and Baihu are still very, very powerful countries as well, and they start to basically push them out of the Sinai and push them here. And this is basically a result here. And Nilda finally agrees to get out of Africa as well, citing the Sinai as the border here. Several more countries will gain their independence, 3 more as well here. This country EL will gain its independence as well. We decided to change the name of the country because it spells a similar name to a certain singer I don't really want to name any countries of the real life people, so that sounds way better. EL as well. But yeah, that was a country as well. The Sinai, basically, we have New Kai, which is this purplish country right here. They exist as well here. And Eritrea will gain more land. Yes, they will gain more land right here. New Kai and EL, because they don't want to put, I actually don't want to put the full name in here, but these countries will also join the African Defense League as well here. And yeah, the African Defense League is, and yeah, currently at this moment, despite Africa in real life being a, horrendous place to live, East Africa specifically is a very great place, as it is basically a beacon of democracy at this point. All these African countries are very democratic as well here. Especially all the newly established ones. All the newly established countries are flawed democracies as well, because they're newest countries. But all these countries are basically some of the safest and some of the most democratic countries in the world. Contrast to real life Africa, where there's constant wars, fighting, famine as well here. This world's Africa is much more peaceful as well here. There still might be some wars down here, but it seems that the real problem here is this area right here. India and of course Central Asia and of course Middle East seems to be the real hotspot for wars at this current moment as well here, as these countries are kind of still divided, and of course Europe as well here, especially Eastern Europe, of all those separate countries as well. And that's what this video here. Goodbye.